Moving down, so I.W.C campus. Love.
This is your girl Alina, you don't know it's all about I.W.C campus.
I.W.C. Rastafari there. Jack, your sister.
I.W.C campus is your girl bad girl Cecile, I'm rolling.
I.W.C campus. It's your girl Nikisha Bond. Better make sure your eyes watch.
In the year 2009, at a church summer camp, I recall being in devotion when a man was leading devotion called me out. I was very nervous and thought to myself, Lord God, I want to know. He asked me to face my fellow campers and he stated, and I quote, "Kids, you see this girl right here? She will become a great leader who many will follow." End of quote. When he stated this, I laughed to myself. At the time, I would have never imagined or dreamt about having the ability to lead. My capabilities or potential was always blinded by the thought of myself really not being able to accomplish it. My size would tend to portray a level of low maturity to most. Over time, I attained the knowledge that leadership skills isn't about your size, but it's about making a significant difference, putting all before you, standing for those who can't stand for themselves, and inspiring them to be the best they can be. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Candise Bulli. I am currently a student in the School of Business Administration, hoping to pursue a double major in marketing and finance. Many may state that I may be too small, too soft, or even too young to be vying for such a prestigious position. But as Mark Twain stated, age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind it, it really won't matter. Some of you may have little or no confidence in my abilities to help bring prosperity into our decorated institution, and some of you may even say she's just a pretty face. I, on the other hand, will say this. Yes, I am young, but age doesn't define a leader. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but one who molds consensus. With that being said, let's reason a bit. Who is Candise? I am an introvert. I'm approachable and I'm willing to work. I hate failure and will do anything and everything in my power to make things right. I am a hard worker and does everything to the best of my ability. I don't like to make promises I can't keep. I prefer to set realistic goals that I can exceed, rather than unrealistic goals that result in failure. I am not a pushover and will never be one. I believe in transparency and accountability. I am always open to suggestions and criticisms. I am open-minded and look at things from all perspectives rather than just my own. I am determined and dedicated and a very good negotiator. I am very ambitious and thrives only for excellence. Sounds a tad bit political, wouldn't you agree? Yes. Every politician tries to depict themselves as the angel who will redeem the world from their suffering. And with this aura, they make promises that we all know may wind up empty. What then has Candise done? I have worked with the finance committee for the entire year, being present at all meetings, events, from start until finish. And I literally mean until finished. I work on ensuring that books are balanced, payments are made, and ensuring that the union's finances are ready for question and reproach from any student with a query. I have assisted to protect the integrity of Students' Union, And in this way, working side by side with the current VP Finance to ensure that the workings of the Students' Union are kept at high standard and within the confines of moral and natural law, necessarily also the laws of the land. You may ask, what do I, Candise Bulli, plan to do? It is within my intention to account for all financial transactions within the union by enforcing the policies and procedures outlined in the Students' Union Constitution for finance, accounting, and audit procedures. Also, I will ensure that all income and expenditure is accounted for from all divisions of the union. I will prepare monthly financial reports to be sent to the VP Public Relations for publications to the student. I will secure worthwhile sponsorships for the holistic development of the students. I will also market the union app to generate more income to the union. I will propose a standard payment plan for students to use during their tenure. I will secure more assets which will minimize our renting budget. Working with the VPPR, I will make students more aware of their financial options. I also plan to work with the VP Academic Affairs to create an effective tuition payment plan for students whilst increasing awareness that students should select what they can afford and avoid deregistration. I will also lobby for change in the refund system that the university currently uses. I will implement better asset management measures and strive for greater financial transparency. I will ensure that all monies through events and sponsorships are lodged and accounted for. So why should you vote for me? If someone asked me why I should vote for Candise, I would say because she's Candise. I'm just joking. But on a more serious note, you should all vote for me because being the VP of Finance will aid me to bring my present field of study to the light, along with my past experiences. I'm currently doing a double major in marketing and finance. My strong sense for success and self-determination also makes me perfect for the job ahead because I am trustworthy. On March 27, vote transparency, vote accountability, vote Candise Bulli, and know what your $2,500 is being used for. Ignore the fallacies and doubts that may have been imprinted on your minds. Ignore the cliche words that may be used to impress. Many have tried and failed, but my contribution thus far has spoken volumes to my capabilities. Allow me to show you just how productive and transparent your money can be. Allow me to further contribute to the uplifting and building of the Students' Union. Don't be influenced by a strong tone or a hard hand. I may be small, but my capabilities stand tall. They will outshine and exceed your greatest expectations. So on March 27, 2014, vote for who you know knows. The one who has experienced firsthand the ins and outs of the Students' Union finances. Vote Candise Bulli, because I will let you know what your $2,500 is being used for. I thank you.
Interesting. This one is for both of you. I have two questions. The first one is for both of you. So you want to handle the finances of the union. What is the current exchange rate?
$109.56.
You agree with her? Shove it down to the T. So both of you know the exchange rate. Excellent. Now, have any of you been in a position of a treasurer for any organization?
Yes, I have. When I was, there's a community center at my in my community. We had a youth club, and I was a treasurer for my youth club, and also the secretary. I was doing both positions.
No, I've never been in a treasurer position, but I have managed a treasurer. As representative for the School of Engineering, I was responsible for the financial running. So the person that were beneath me who handled that, I provided the direction and management for that person.
But you have never been a treasurer?
I will say definitely.
Okay, all right. I hear you. You see, I am not here to pick sides or anything, but the realities are the truth. The reality is, I manage a department, but who works in the department that reports to me has skills I do not have. As a good leader, I do not take credit for what they do. I give them credit for what they have done. Just pointing it out. Seeing as how you said you manage them. That now brings me to a question I didn't want to ask, but I will now ask both of you. How do you intend to make sure that at the end of your term, the union is not in the red?
Let me say first and foremost that I do not know the state that it is now in. So I can't say in 1 year it's going to come out of the red. That's why I have proposed an audit, that an audit must be done first for me to know where the state is. Then it is my intention with my committee to put into place management structures to enable the union to come out of the red. I will not promise anybody that is going to take 1 year, because a promise is a comfort to a fool, and none of you here is fool. So I'm not into the promise thing. But I tell you this, just like how you have things and they have to be structured, we have to plant the foundation of transparency first before we can then go on to say that we are going to tackle the problem that may exist.
Okay, Mr. Hook, could I hear from the lady?
Okay, first of all, the whole finance thing has to do with accountability and transparency. Let's get that out of the way. In terms of running it to the end of my tenure to make sure that we're not in the reds, I'd have to make sure that I account for everything that takes place. And I have to work with all my executive members and representatives and find some ways that we can gain more income. Because that's what it's all about. We have to gain more income in order to help you as students. So in my tenure, I plan to bring up more things so that we can make more money and put towards students.
Thank you. The good news is, for both of you, it's 28 million in the blue.
No, good afternoon, everyone. No, I would like to ask a question. For both candidates, for those faculties that may decide not to lodge incomes within the UTech Students Union NCB account. After getting money from the union. After getting money from the union, how would you curb this particular problem? And what would your overall suggestion be to a person if you encounter them?
it's all about negotiation. If you want a certain person to carry out a certain task, you have to negotiate with them. You have to tell them what your plans are, find out what their plans are, and see how best you can come to a conclusion. First of all. Second of all, if a faculty does not put money in the NCV account, which basically belongs to the union because the union gave them money, I think that we should report them. Because at the end of the day, the money belongs to the union. If the union does not get back that money, then how are we going to finance everything else? How are we going to finance the bursaries, the love lunches, and all the other faculties?
Let me, first of all, I love that question. And that question is directed at me, I know. Listen out. Listen out. Every school and college has a budget. It simply means that money is to be spent on the school. There is no bring back, per se. Now, let me say this. The School of Engineering, over the years, have had a very organized and structured management system where the funds are accounted for and properly documented. It simply means, and I give this suggestion to the current VP Finance, that if you want to know what the School of Engineering or any school for that matter is doing, get an auditing team that will go to each school and do an auditing. An auditing was done of my financial status, and I want you to ask Mr. Finance, what were the irregularities? Because he found none. Thank you.
No. But, hello? I can't. That the union put to any member of council shall or must be returned for UTech auditing purposes. So, with that clarified, I have a next question. In terms of sponsorship, how would the financial organizer of the union ensure that sponsorship is fully if it is done within the faculty?
Sponsorship is done for first and foremost, I believe, in all faculties. Now, as I tell you before, it will not be Philip Hogg alone that will be running this thing, because let me tell you something, it's a lot of work. So my team and I will be going out there to corporate Jamaica, seeking, soliciting their input, their help towards students' upliftment. Because after all, we are the future of tomorrow. We are the students that are going out in their company to add value to their company. So this is the message that will be preached to various sponsors to get on board. Support this thing, because it will benefit them in the long run. Thank you.
In terms of sponsorship, I think that to get good sponsorship, you have to market a brand. If you don't market a brand to future sponsors, how do you intend on getting full support from them? So I would make sure, and I work with my fellow VP of PR to put out a marketing plan or make a listing of how we brand UTech or the Students' Union, so we can get more from our sponsors. Thank you. And also work hand in hand with the sponsors, because if you don't keep a relationship with them, you can't expect to get anything out of it. Thank you.
I have one question for both of you guys. What mechanism will you put in place to ensure the students know what is happening in the union where finance is concerned for the PR to publish?
Okay, first of all, we have to audit everything that is made, or every money that is made from an event or from the washroom, or even in the office, we have to audit it. We have to make sure that we know how much is made, how much is spent, right? And when we make a certain amount and we spend a certain amount, we say, okay, we have that amount left, right? And we can use that towards other faculties. So what I would intend, or what the mechanism that I would put in place, is to make sure that everything is audited and work with my finance committee to make sure that everything is right and accountable.
I must first commend Candise for the auditing of these ventures. But as I said before, that I will be doing the first thing is an audit to see where we are. Now, secondly, the PR committee has to be mobilized and active, and will be given the resources to do so. So therefore, all the financial statement that should come out, all the transparency of the details that must be put out to the students, it will come through PR, through the support of the financing, whatever she may or he may need to give the information to the student. I thank you again.
Okay, I think two things that both candidates have ignored, and I want both of you to answer. Usually when money is requested from the university by the Students' Union, because this is the case, UTech is in control of your $2,500, and with the Students' Union, though we spend that money, we have to request it from them. Now, we have issues where there are backlog of payments to businesses, etc., when we need to request that money from UTech. So what do you plan to do to ensure that administration steps up and ensures that whatever we request, it is given to us in a reasonable time so that we can make payments, etc.?
I am going to be blunt. A fool for money. Not for money. No, I am saying this straight and straight up. I know that there's protocols to be followed. And the university must have protocol that if I request within X time, I should get the money within X time. No, it is our dues that is paid. It therefore means that all protocols and procedure must be followed by the university. If the university does not follow these protocols and guidelines to let the money come over to us, then it is our right to demand of them. And if we need to call TVJ for demand the money, never call TVJ for free money.
In terms of that, I would make sure that whatever we're planning to pay for is requested in about 2 weeks before it's needed to pay. So in terms of paying companies, right, we have to think about the university as well. We cannot look at it from our perspective and say we need our money. The university has other finances to deal with other than ours, and the principle of the matter is, if you want something, you have to ask for it before the time and not by the time. If you ask before the time, then you will get it at the time that you need it. Thank you.
I was trying to avoid doing this, but it has gotten to a point where I think I need to. I cannot sit here as a member of the administration of the university and listen and hear something that doesn't write well with me and not say something. Sir, with all due respect, stridency is one thing. Firmness of purpose is one thing. An ability to stand up for what you believe in is quite another thing. But you appear to be an extremely angry young man. And if and when you are elected to the post that you require the votes for, and I wish both of you all the best, by the way, it would be in your best interest, from my limited point of view, to reduce some of your stridency Because running into a wall won't break the wall, it will break your face. Your job is to represent students and protect their money, not create confrontation that might cause people to withhold it. Again, I wish both of you all the best.
If I may respond to Mr. Finzi. Paul Bogle was considered a hungry man. A lot of strong leaders was considered a hungry man and an aggressive man. But I believe that it takes a firm leader, a one that will push down the walls to bring change that is necessary. And I intend to do everything in my power to push down these doors and bring transparency to the union. I thank you again.
Okay, last question from the panel. Now, as council members, each member of the Students' Union Council is required to give a report of their portfolio for the publishing of a magazine. That's just one publication. Now, it was said at the last emergency mass meeting that the monies that was collected from Tag Drive will be published in that magazine. And also to know, when the magazine comes out and you do not see an executive member of the council or a representative of the council in that magazine, it was because they did not submit a report. Now my question to you, Mr. Hogg, if you could not submit a report from your portfolio as representative for the School of Engineering, how can the students of UTech trust you to submit reports regarding their finances?
How can I submit a report when, because I was fighting for the rights of the students, I was suspended and barred from my account? How? Tell me, how can I then submit a report?
Okay. Now, the editor-in-chief will answer.
Good evening, UTech students. I am the editor-in-chief. I am responsible for such publications. I requested the information for the publication from December, before the end of the first semester. So, Mr. Hogg, your suspension was not from last semester. It was not in effect. It was this semester. Thus, you could have submitted your report.
Please carry the records and show it to the students. Now, I realize, and students, you must pay attention to this, that this is an attack on my integrity. But let me tell you something, students. It never work because I know that the students want a change and need a fresh change.
Mr. Moderator, please. This is about to descend into a situation where Mr. Hogg is going to put himself on a cross. So now, at this point in time, you have two candidates who have ably identified their intentions. The people standing out there with the right to vote are the deciders. Anybody else that has anything to say about what Mr. Hogg did or didn't do so in private.
In the interest of time, thank you. In the interest of time and darkness, I'm going to ask the persons in the audience asking questions to keep them
very short and clinical, and equally for the prospective Vice President Finance candidates to also keep them short and clinical.
Good night, students. From the colloquial proverb, experience teaches wisdom. My question goes to you, Candise. You're a first-year student to my knowledge. If you were to become, do you think you have the mental capacity to work to work as VP Finance? And what strategy do you plan on using to ensure transparency and accountability within the union? Thank you.
Okay, an answer to that question. Let me say that yes, I am a first-year student, but that doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't matter because look at it this way: when I was in high school, I had to bounce high school work. I had cheerleading, I had pageant duties, and I had many other things to do, right? So if I could manage all of that, why is it right now that I can't manage a post of VP Finance? Remember, being a first-year student doesn't say anything. Being a second-year, third-year, or fourth-year student says nothing because it doesn't matter your age, and in this sense, age would be being for first-year student. It doesn't matter the age. It's mind over matter. Once you don't mind, it really doesn't matter. Thank you.
Both of you candidates, my question to you is, I hear you both alluding and saying a lot about your committee you're going to form. I want to know, this committee you will be forming, how will we trust that it's going to be a committee of persons who are competent to assist you? Also about your friends or persons, how will you go about getting your committee members? Will it be by an interview or just take persons you choose to select? Because if you have a committee working with you as a finance person, you have to have persons who are financially inclined to assist you in doing that.
Okay, for my committee, look at it this way. A finance committee has to have some knowledge of finance, right? So therefore, why would I choose my friends over persons who are qualified? Business and personal matter is two different things, right? When it's business time, it's business time. When it's personal time, it's personal time. So in my tenure, I plan to do an interview with students who think or know they can handle the job. Just as how we're here doing basically an interview to show you why we can be a VP of Finance, I would do the same to students who would like to be a part of the Finance Committee.
It is interesting that she had asked that question. Friends is what has brought us to where we are today. It was because of friends and I know you, so you come work with me, has brought the union to where it is today. And that is the word in the university. As your VP of Finance, I will be openly inviting people to apply to become a part of this thing. I will ask independent people from different faculties to be a part of the selection process because I want it to be as transparent as possible. If it is that a student from SKIT can design me a program that can show transparency, you will be there. If it is a law student to properly articulate the finances of the union, you will be there. But as I've said in my speech, that students from business, the finance area of business, will form the core of my committee because that is where the real work is. I thank you again.
Point to note, as I respect both candidates' answer. However, the finance committee that is formed by the VP Finance is governed by the university as is chartered by our constitution. So I think both candidates should review the constitution properly because it is formulated with the advice of the finance department of UTech with both external members from UTech, 2 competent students as well as the Secretariat of the Union. So I think both candidates should review the Constitution as it relates to the Finance Committee.
All right, good night. I totally understand your need for transparency. However, I have two questions regarding that. Transparency, I believe, in an organization like this doesn't mean lack of confidentiality nor lack of discretion. And if you're going to seek sponsorship from companies, if you're going to reveal certain information that puts the organization you're representing at a negative image, I want to understand what discretions would be made and what would be kept confidential in what case.
Okay, about for that question, the thing is, with a financial report, right, you want to let students know what their money is being used for and what it's been spent for, what the income that we're getting and so forth. So no sponsorship. I don't need to disclose a sponsorship information. I can disclose, yeah, they're giving that amount, but I don't have to disclose their name, right? I don't have to disclose their name. Because once you're getting amount of money from a sponsor, then that's all that really matters.
No, just like politics, I believe that everything should be clean. I personally believe that the political thing, I'm not really unite, you know, I'm telling that straight up. No, because when you think of politics, you think of politics. I am not here to trick anybody. No, every company has protocols and guidelines by which they are governed. It simply means that if you are to approach a company, they will explain their guidelines and their protocols that govern their business in terms of what they deem confidential and what is not. Now, it will then now go to discretion. As if a company is going to sponsor the university and do not want to give their name, I will have a problem with that, because I will want to know, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? No, but it is about transparency. It is not about hiding behind the back and give some money there so and here so, because you must have a hand and a hidden agenda to be doing that. So for me, it is total transparency. Once the protocols, when I look at it, it is saying transparency.
Alright, I am just going to ask a question myself, and that will be the end of questions for the post of Vice President Finance. Yes, because it's time for us to move on. I heard you say that we are where we are now because of friendship and the like. I feel like you're casting shade on me. One, because I'm in a post that I was appointed one. Two, I reach here like a Johnny cake and I'm going to leave like a dumpling. I have gained nothing other than experience, that is two. And three, we are $28 million in the blue, as Mr. Fincey Smith said. And so many other things are going well. So what exactly is this problem that we are in?
No.
Your wait.
No. Gentle people, I am going to use a whole Jamaican proverb or a whole Jamaican saying to answer that question. Me sure me can, me never call no phone.
Thank you. I now invite